This is Red Carpet Fly's News on the Fly podcast, bringing you unique and interesting entertainment, celebrity, and luxury news. Before we get started, you know what to do like, follow, and subscribe to Red Carpet Fly, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single News on the Fly episode. Before we get into these headlines, let's take a moment to recognize some of our fallen stars. So, over the weekend, we lost Richard Simmons, American fitness personality and public figure. He died at the age of 76. His cause of death is unknown, but he will definitely be missed. I remember seeing some of his workout videos growing up, and he's definitely made an impression in American pop culture. We also lost Dr. Ruth, internationally acclaimed sex expert who died at 96. She died peacefully at her home in New York, and her cause of death is unknown. Lastly, we lost American actress Shannon Doherty, who played roles both on TV and film, but is best known for 90210 and her charmed characters. And she died at the age of 53. She succumbed to her battle with cancer, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2015. All of these people will very much be missed. And moving on to more grim news, depending on how you look at it, unless you've been living under a rock, there was an attempted assassination of former President Trump. So my thoughts on this, and I'm not going to harp on it long because the news is saturated about this incident. But this incident really is the culmination of both parties and the negative rhetoric and the negative campaigns that they have been having recently. I feel like ever since probably President Obama's election, former President Obama's election, we've been in this kind of like, there's been such a fervor around especially like the presidential elections. And it's always like this is the most important election ever. And you get people in a like fever pitch. Like people have gotten so crazy about this, and it's really not only has it divided families, but it's really causes stress. Some people have been so stressed out about the election, and for an assassination attempt on former President Trump, to me this is not something that's surprising. It wasn't if, it was when. And again, like I said, I blame both political parties. They have worked the American public up so much. And I feel like we're like in a reality show, and America is a dumpster fire. Like, I feel like we're becoming the type of country that we send soldiers to, to stop, to help bring about democracy, and we hear about different assassination attempts and all these different plots to get rid of, their political leaders. And I feel like America's turning just into that. So I really want both parties to take a step back and reevaluate how they go about campaigning for their presidential nominees, because the type of road we're on now creates this type of situation. And to make matters even worse, here comes this chick, Melania Trump. So Melania Trump issues a statement after the attempted assassination on her husband, Donald Trump, expressing gratitude for the swift response of law enforcement and affirming their commitment to safety and resilience. The incident has drawn attention to safety measures for public for public figures and renewed discussions about political tensions in the United States. Girl, bye. If you don't go somewhere, where have you been? Like your husband had like what 64 felonies or felony charges, and we hadn't heard a peep from you. And then all of a sudden there's an attempt on his life, and you come out parading out acting like you care. Girl, we know you don't care. She pretends like she's some caring wife, and you have been nowhere. You have been out of the picture. So I really don't want to hear anything from Melania Trump. And talking about politics, Michael Steepley had a commentary on Deadline, and he entitled it "When the Dust Settles: Time for a Hollywood Political Reboot." And he explores the evolving landscape of Hollywood's relationship with politics. Deeply reflects on the industry's historical engagement with the political activism, noting its transformation from the era of McCarthyism to today's more polarized climate. He discusses how Hollywood's influence has shifted, with celebrities now facing scrutiny and division over their political statements and actions. Seepley argues that Hollywood's current political involvement lacks the clarity and impact seen in earlier decades, suggesting that the industry needs to reset to navigate its role in society more effectively. He critiques Hollywood's tendency to react emotionally rather than strategically to political events, leading to mixed results and achieving meaningful change. Seepley advocates for a more nuanced approach where Hollywood uses its platform responsibly and engages in constructive dialogue rather than divisive rhetoric. Overall, Seepley Overall, Sibley's commentary prompts reflection on Hollywood's historical and contemporary political engagement, urging the industry to reconsider its role and approach in shaping public discourse and societal issues. And I feel like I have seen more of this too, where like you see these actors like George Clooney, or you'll see I don't know, Beyonce and Jay-Z, they'll en they'll endorse a candidate, and then, they've become like some weird political arm of a particular party. And it's just, and like I said, this has been popularized, I feel like, since Obama's election, of like utilizing celebrities to kind of carry out uh an agenda for a particular party. And I definitely would agree with Deeply. I think that um, a lot of people, not only celebrities, but since celebrities have the biggest platform, they do respond humanly, which usually means emotionally. And yes, the public gets very mixed messages, and it's becomes a very much us versus them. So, I would agree with him 100%. What are you guys' thoughts about this? About like Hollywood and celebrities commenting on things in the political arena? Do you think that there should even have a place in that type of discourse? Comment below and let me know. Continuing on the political theme, upcoming elections could influence the housing market, says Sotheby's. So, Sotheby's Realty anticipates potential impacts on the housing market from upcoming elections, citing factors such as policy changes and economic uncertainty. The real estate firm emphasizes the importance of political developments in shaping market conditions, advising stakeholders to monitor electoral outcomes closely for potential implications on housing trends and investment decisions. Um, you know, this just further exasperates me. And I wanted to share this with you guys because I think when we look at politics, we always look at it very myopically and we're looking at it from one perspective when in reality, it impacts so many facets of our life, right? And like I said, I'm just exhausted. I'm seriously exhausted about this whole political cycle and where American politics is leading. I'm tired of the news. I'm tired of hearing about it. I get so many text messages from political parties about supporting this candidate, support that candidate. Like the text messages are crazy. I want to block them. I think I'm going to block them because it's like at this point it's harassment. Anyways, on a lighter note, do we have any Game of Thrones fans? And if so, who's watching House of Dragons? Well, we all know that I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan, and I am currently watching House of Dragons. Well, if anyone saw Sunday's episode, you would see something that was very disturbing. So, there's been a lot of controversy over Daemon Targaryen's graphic sex scene. HBO's House of Dragon faces criticism for a scene involving Daemon Targaryen, portrayed by Matt Smith, which some viewers found unnecessarily explicit and discomforting. The controversy centers on the portrayal of a sexual encounter involving Daemon and his mother, Rhaenyra Targaryen, with critics arguing it crosses boundaries of decency. This scene has ignited a debate about the depiction of sensitive themes in popular media and its impact on audience reception. So, if you guys don't know what they're talking about, like I said, they kind of touched on it lightly, but there was a scene. Um, Damon Sorry, and this is a spoiler alert for people who haven't seen it, but Damon is at Harrenhal currently because he is trying to secure an army for his wife, Rhaenyra. And Harrenhal is known for making people go crazy because you start seeing things, you're hearing things. It just drives you crazy. So, anyways, there is a scene where he's kind of like hallucinating. I don't know if he's dreaming or if he's hallucinating, and that's kind of the point. Like you don't know what's real and what's not, but it is a whole explicit kind of sex scene, and but he's having sex with his mother, which is very like Oedipus like, and you're sitting there and you're watching it. I know I watch Game of Thrones with my family. It can be argued that that is not a family show because there is a lot of sex scenes in it and it does make you feel very uncomfortable. But I think this one topped it because no one expected to see a son having sex with his mom. And to me, I'm thinking to myself when I saw it, is this even needed? How does this progress the story? I really think it's in there for shock value. I really think that HBO did that just for shock value because they wanted to say, they always want to top themselves. There's always got to be something shocking. So I really think it's for shock and awe, and it really didn't have anything to do with the story other than to get everyone talking in the blogs talking about it the next day. Did anyone see that episode? Let me know if you saw that episode and let me know your thoughts about it. Again, I just think it's for shock value. And I think that, while House of Dragons isn't really a family show, I think that these outlets need to be kind of responsible because people, whether you agree or not, people really take their signal from pop culture, right? What is good, what is passing, even though you shouldn't take your what is socially good, you shouldn't really be taking it from pop culture. You should really be getting that from how you were raised and, stuff like that. But, you know, that's the reality we live in. Most people look to pop culture and what's going on around them to see what's socially acceptable. And having sex with your mother, people, is not socially acceptable. Now, and I think that HBO just needs to be, I know they want shock and value, but I think that they need to be a little bit responsible when it comes to portraying these things. Anyways, let me know your thoughts below. I could be wrong, and I could just being prudish. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. If you'd like to receive text notifications of when I post my News on the Fly episodes or my celebrity red carpet interviews, please send a text to 917-502-4379 and say, I want to get fly text. Once subscribed, you will start receiving text messages regarding a News on the Fly episode or a celebrity interview. Also, if you have a business, product, service, YouTube channel, or social media account that you would like for me to promote, please email redcarpetfly at alexi@redcarpetfly to get rates for advertising. We're growing, guys. You can find this podcast on all podcast platforms. Just search for News on the Fly podcast. Lastly, please like, follow, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel, Red Carpet Fly, and also follow us on Instagram and Threads at Red Carpet Fly, and we will see you tomorrow. Always stay fly.